I'm saying? I'm your dad.
Let's go.
Get up on y'all. You gonna learn today.
Daddy, chill.
Call me Daddy.
I was born by the river in a little tent. And just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time. It's not been a long time. We are recording on a Monday. I'm sorry if you're listening to this. Expect the Monday drop. It'll drop hopefully tomorrow.
Tonight at
midnight.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we get into the sports card, hobby, baseball nonsense, there's a pun intended there. I was just on the Sports Card Nonsense podcast with the boys. It was good. It was fun.
Guys,
it was
great
short.
Guys.
Great guys. I had to keep it PG. They didn't like the China call.
Did it for the kids.
China. We had no internet. It was China. Speaking of kids, the last 3 days have been the most stressful that I've had to deal with in a long time. Last Thursday, Amelia came home from softball practice, and she had a bite on her hand, like right in the middle of her hand, on top, near the knuckles. I said, all right, put some arnica on it, take a Benadryl, go to sleep. She wakes up in the next morning, and her hand is swollen like a fucking Hulk hand.
Yikes.
It's super red. It's super puffy. It looked so terrible. And she could barely squeeze her. She could barely move her fingers. It was so swollen. So we take her to the urgent care. Doctor gives her some steroids, says take this, draws a line around it. Next thing you know, we come home. Dr. Kelsey says, doctor says if it gets outside this line, get her back in immediately. So now the dad fucking paranoia sets in. All things, the worst things possible that can happen. I'm looking, the worst thing is just typing that shit online and looking at the horror stories that can happen from a fucking bite. I don't know if it's a spider, if it's an ant. We don't even fucking know. So the next morning, wake up, and it's well outside that line that doctor drew. So now I'm freaking out. I rush her back to urgent care. Doctor walks in like it's like nothing's wrong. She's acting way too calm.
Sauntering in.
Yeah, and I'm like, are you just doing this to just move?
Yeah.
Just move along.
Yeah, come on
Next
now.
patient, get your fucking money. So she's like...
And out of anybody that knows anything about hand injuries.
Oh, yeah.
This guy right
Oh,
here.
yeah. My thumb, my
Yeah.
golf injury.
You know,
I'm like
yeah.
freaking
Yeah,
out.
this is not normal.
Freaking out. That night, so we go home, and now I'm like, you know what? Fuck this, man. I know what works. Peroxide. Peroxide. So I'm like scraping the top of the bite to get underneath the skin, and it's killing her. It's insane. Like, I wish I had a picture of it. It's wild what it actually came to. And I'm pouring peroxide on it, wiping off and scraping it, pouring peroxide. And now I'm like hovering over this thing like it's my injury, and I can feel her pain. So I'm like, keep doing this, arnica, spray this on, peroxide, all throughout the day. And now that night, I didn't go to sleep till like 5 a.m. because every hour I'm just going into her room and checking her hand, making sure swelling has gone down. Long story short, it's better. Her hand looks better. The colors come back. There's still a bump and it's still a little swollen, but there's no redness. My mind can rest now.
Good.
Like and my wife is just like, she's the calm, cool, like everything's going to be fine. Like it's just let it work through. And I'm like immediate, like worst possible scenario, worst case. She's going to lose her fucking hand. They're going to chop off her finger, whatever. I'm going through all of it in a Rolodex in my head. Like what's the worst that can happen? But she's doing good. That's great.
Hey, that's what's important.
That's what's important,
Yeah,
man.
that's what's important.
That's all I care about. Health. They're fed. They're happy. They don't have to worry about going to mundane school every day, which is great. We homeschool them. It's one reason why we moved to Texas. Let's go on to some sports.
Let's go to sports.
Let's go on to some sports, you fucking red bastards. Let's go over some. Do you want to do baseball first, or you want to talk about the Wemby? Because I think the Wemby.
I think we can end with the Wemby.
Let's end with the Wemby
because the baseball's more interesting.
Yeah. So let's go over some key players that are. So far, we're about 25 games in.
Yep.
About 25 games into the season. Wyatt Langford has not lived up to any hype.
It's really disappointing after the spring he had, and I hate that I'm about to say this name, but it's very Jared Kelenic like. That worries me because you're talking about a guy absolutely shredding through the minor leagues, absolutely dominating in spring, and then you get to the major leagues, and where is it? And it's the same thing that happened with Jared Kelenic. It's
the pitch. I went to a game I went to the Astros game, and all of his at bats, he had fucking pitches where I'm like,
swing,
gotta hit that
swing, yeah.
And then the ones he hit, I'm like, those are the ones you got to put over the fence.
He is just not swinging when he needs to swing, and he's a little too in his head, I think. Because you go back to spring, he was swinging. He had a great on-base percentage. He's had a great on-base percentage everywhere he goes to, and I can tell that he wants to show that he can be the patient hitter, but he needs to fucking swing. He needs to not be Devin Haney against Ryan Garcia. He needs to swing.
And then there's the opposite. You have Jackson Holliday, who is swinging
and missing
a lot.
What's up with that?
I have no idea.
That is even more worrisome than Wyatt Langford to me.
Some guy came in the chat last night and goes, I had a plus 5,000 parlay, and all I needed was Jackson Holliday to get one hit. I said, you should have bet him that he wasn't going to get a hit.
Oh, my God.
I think he's still sitting on one hit, right?
It's he was hitless for a long time. It wouldn't surprise me. It would not.
I think he has one hit. It's a disappointing, but
he's so young, though.
These guys are young.
Yeah.
Wyatt Langford's got to get it together. He's a little older. What is he, 21?
He's got biggest problem for me is he's no power. 0 homers.
Yeah.
That dude's a power hitter. I don't care if he could do the Pete Alonso thing where he hits 200, but if he hits a ton of bombs, it's fine.
Yeah.
He's not
especially in that lineup.
He's not hitting anything. His OPS is 600.
Yeah.
That's not good. And it same right across from him, Evan Carter's not doing well either, but the difference is Evan Carter excellent defensively. So he makes up for it in the F WAR with what he does on the field. And he's hitting home runs. He's got 3 or 4. So he's not terrible, not a good start to the season for either of them, but at least Evan Carter's doing something.
Not a good start for the Rangers in general. I don't even think they're 500, right?
I'm surprised we're 12-11. I'm surprised we're 12-11, but I will still say the team's still getting back together. I think something that not a lot of people are realizing is that Nate Lowe just got back into the lineup. That dude was the spirit animal of that lineup. Him and Jonah Heim are vibe guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're the locker room guys.
They're the locker room guys. They're not the star players, but they play really well. I think having Nate back in the locker room is going to do a lot for this because it starts to, Young being out, but they've had Young out before, but having Seager, Simeon, and Lowe kind of solidifying the infield at the very minimum, I think that's going to be a really big thing for them going forward, but we'll see.
Yeah. The holiday thing is a little worrisome. I know a lot of big holiday collectors that are calling me.
Swinging misses.
They're texting me. I said this from the get-go, and I'll say this as a Bowman guy, as soon as they get called up, as soon as they get that nod, unleash. If you're holding on to 10, 15, 20 pieces of one player,
you got to sell.
Move some of the pieces. Hold some that you like. Maybe you got a pristine in there, or you got a true gold.
Sure.
But if you got the reds, the oranges, a super,
move 'em.
Anything big, move those.
Don't be dumb.
Because as soon as they start taking at bats, their market is going to go down, and the only way it goes up is they got to hit 300. They got to lead categories in home runs and RBIs and stolen base. They got to do all these things.
Yeah.
What Ellie's doing right now, which is the complete opposite. At the tail end of last year, he was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But he starts hot.
And
that's everything for the hype.
His OPS is through the roof right now. He's got 5 home runs. He's got 10 SBs. He's on pace for a great season. He's got to keep that up. I hope they juggle him around in the lineup a lot.
They need to make him consistent.
They got to keep him
a
consistent.
4 or 5 hole hitter. Just leave him there.
Yeah.
Just don't touch him.
I'd put him in the 2 hole, man. He's so fast.
He is so fast.
Get him on base.
I don't know how much. Again, I don't know enough about baseball to wonder. I just wonder if you want to protect him a little bit or want to just put him because. Now, especially with the Rangers winning the series last year, I mean, the Semien Seager 1-2 is what just dominated baseball last year, especially in the playoffs. That is where I would like to see Ellie De La Cruz, but I don't know if he's ready for that at such a young age. I mean, he's killing the ball right now, but he's not there. He's not. I just worry.
Yeah. That 22 class is shaping out. You have Ellie's killing it. Jonathan Clase got called up.
Clase,
and he's playing well.
Yeah.
James Wood is on the cusp of getting the nod, and you have Colson Montgomery. Those 4, you don't see that. The last time you've seen a class like that is 19 draft, maybe 20 draft. 2020 had Witt, J-Dom, and has Witt, J-Dom, Volpe. Outside of that, it drops pretty fast. Yeah. Outside of Andy Pages or Pajes.
Yeah, is it Pajes?
I think it's Pajes.
Okay.
I don't know. On the show, I think they say Pajes.
Okay. Whatever. That guy's been around for ages.
He's been around for a long time, but he's playing now for the Dodgers. I think he hit his first home run yesterday.
Good for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see.
That,
his gold shimmer went from – I had a gold shimmer for AMC. I'm selling his cards, and I had a 350 sticker on it forever. And I'm just like, we'll wait. Gets a call, $700. It's like,
love that.
Boom, dumb, double up, move on.
Send that right away.
Shimmer stink.
Yeah, we don't like that. What do you think? Who do you think is the most disappointing rookie so far, and who do you think is the best rookie so far right now?
Jackson Merrill is the best rookie.
How
so
shocking
far.
Is that?
Yeah, it's
killing
incredible.
Kid looks like he's been playing center field his whole minor league career.
Yeah, it's good to see.
He's doing great. I love that.
Churio started off really good. His average is down. He's like 230, 235 right now.
He looks like he belongs though.
Yeah, he does.
That kid belongs in the major leagues.
He has the build and everything for it.
He just I don't care how his stats look at the end of this year. He looks like he belongs on the major league roster.
Yeah. Langford's a disappointment.
From
what he did in spring to now,
he's got to hit a bomb or two. Yeah. It just. That
you got to get the monkey off your back.
You got to get your monkey off your back, and I know that's tough. And I'm sure he's coming into a line. Let's just keep it real. Opening day, he was the 3-hole hitter for the team that won the title last year. I'm sure the expectations were nuts, absolutely nuts. And I know they were nuts because I looked. His fucking base auto PSA 10 was doing 1,000. Of course it's nuts. But at the end of the day. He's a DH. He doesn't even have to worry about fielding. He's got to fucking just put barrel to the bat and just get on base at the minimum. Dude has literally been one of the most prolific power hitters up until the major leagues we've ever seen. Hit 30 bombs at Florida his senior year, or his last year there.
Yeah. He was smashing in spring.
Smashing it.
Smashing. Yeah. But we're only 25 games in.
25
and
games
I'll say this. Last year, and it's happening this year. Last year, Julio had 1 home run in the first 30 games.
It's the same thing.
And he has 0. Yeah. Julio Rodriguez has 0 home runs right now. We're 25 games in.
And guess what? He'll probably end the year as one of the top 5 players in MLB.
He'll probably end up with 30 home runs.
He's going to do this 3 years in a row, and it's going to be nuts.
He's going to go on a 4-6 week
do you know there was
tear.
I didn't even know this. Last year there was a 3-week stretch. He hit 900.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I believe it.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
900.
He was batting 230 at one point,
yeah.
10 days ago. I think he's batting 286 now.
I believe it.
He's just 2 hits. It's going to come around. Yeah. Those guys, 25 games is such a fucking small little wisp of games that they can turn around and have 25 games where they hit 10, 12 home runs.
Now, I am going to say, I think my most disappointed is Jackson Holiday.
Yeah.
Because unlike Wyatt Langford is struggling, but Jackson Holiday is swinging and missing. And that dude looked to me like he was going to be like Ichiro. That's honestly what I was like, that kid has the best bat to ball skills I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
He hit 400 throughout the minor leagues. He looked like he was just going to rake. And the fact that he cannot get the bat to the ball right now, He's 19. He's 19 or 20, whatever. He's got a long career ahead of him. I know that. But the fact that he can't fucking get a hit is a little worrisome to me.
It's so hard to translate from the minors.
Of course.
Because I was telling this guy someone last night on the phone. I said, listen, the guys they're facing in the minors are like the 5th, 6th starters in the majors. That's the competition, if that.
Yeah.
Because they're not in the majors for a reason.
They're long relievers at some, most of them.
Yeah. So that's very hard to translate, and it could take time. You gotta adjust. You gotta fucking take that step and swing fucking split earlier. And the movement's a lot different. The pitchers, it's just a totally different ball game.
When do you think they call up Skeens?
I think
because it's
before May.
Because he's the Michael Jordan.
So we have
right now.
we have 8 days until May.
Yeah.
So I think he gets called up in the next 8 days.
I think he's. I mean, I get there was some article out there that's like, oh, he still has things to work on. I was like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Does not matter.
He's got a great stash.
He's got a great. He is the stash brother of the minor leagues right now.
What's up, brother?
What's up?
Yeah,
Special teams,
special stashes.
Yeah,
special pitches. Yeah, Skeens should be up. The Pirates need him.
Yeah,
why not? Just call him up.
Just call him up.
He's old enough.
Yeah.
He's got the swagger.
Yeah, do the same thing Seattle did with Julio. Just offer him 10 years, $200 million. Just let him sit there for the rest of his life in Pittsburgh. Whatever.
Fuck. I want to talk about the Wemby. We're not really big on the Panini side of things, but
big news.
Crown Royale comes out next week. It's not the greatest product to rip, but they finally introduced the green 1-of-1 kabooms. I don't think they've had green 1-of-1 kabooms in a long time.
No. Well, they've had them for football.
They've never had them for basketball?
They have never had them for basketball. In fact, they have never had colored kabooms for
basketball. No, they did. They have golds. They have golds.
They had golds. That's
they
right.
have golds.
Yeah,
they don't have the
never
greens.
Never
so
had greens.
Imagine this. All right. I'm going to say something that could be pretty outlandish. I think you're going to have Wemby, Steph, LeBron, Luka. You're going to have at least 4 players of 6-figure kabooms in this chase.
I believe it.
A gold kaboom or a gold kaboom of Wemby is probably going to fetch 50 to 60 grand.
Yeah.
And not only that, with him not having autos and him not like all these factors,
I'm gonna throw something.
I think that green kaboom Wemby is going to be his second biggest card.
I'm gonna throw something even crazier at you. I think the gold kabooms for Wemby go for $100K plus.
You think so?
I think that green kaboom could go for 500.
I would rather have that green kaboom than the fucking the black disco.
I think it's the hardest.
Right?
Oh yeah. I think people don't realize how hard it is to pull the kaboom, like the green kaboom. A colored kaboom in general is impossible. The amount of first off, these boxes are going to be so overpriced. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. It actually might. This might be the first time in a very long time where buying first off the line actually makes sense because, I think the first off the line just have crazy better odds at getting kabooms than because it's not. I don't think it's one per case. I think it's I think you can get multiple in one case.
I have seen it, yeah.
I think because of the no auto thing, it's just we haven't seen a single good patch of Wemby that's it's going to be the logo man from National Treasures. That's going to be the patch everybody wants of Wemby. But yeah, I think the green kaboom is going to rival I think the green kaboom is going to rival that black shimmer. I really do.
I think it's going to rival the shimmer, the fast break.
It's a better looking card, I think.
You have in Prism he has 3 black 1-of-1s. He's going to have one kaboom, one rookie green kaboom.
And it's going to be a monster to pull. Blez, when you pull it, you have to come on the show and talk about it.
Seriously.
Come on, Blez.
Come on, Jared. Get on the show, Jared.
Come on, Blez. We know you're cooking it up.
Oh,
we know. We
Jared's
saw
over there with his pot just stirring up, throwing some magic dust in there.
I already pulled the Dops Dynasty.
Yeah.
Which one's next?
Dynasty. No. Wemby, 1-of-1.
Not for real though. I think the green kaboom's gonna do numbers.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's going to be an insane card to pull. I think, like I said, there's going to be several 100K cards in that set. When you're talking about, I think those boxes should be under 1,000, right? They got to be, right? I mean, Prism started out at like 950, so I think Crown's going to be about 750, if I had to guess.
Crown has risen a lot, and so I've seen the first off the line do 1,000, like 1,200 almost. So I only say this because I have an AMC's collection that we're helping him move. He has a PSA 10 LaMelo second year gold Kaboom. Jesus,
the card's worth $6K.
Yeah,
like a second year of a player who's never healthy.
But it's gold.
It's gold.
Yeah.
So the gold Kabooms and the green Kabooms are gonna fucking go bananas.
You want to know what the biggest miss of my entire life card collecting is?
What?
I would go to this card. I'm not going to say the card shop, but I would go to this card shop literally every week, and every week there was one little box of Absolute 2020 Absolute that was just sitting there, and I was just like, I'm not spending $1,000 on that. And the guy was like, whatever, it's here. I literally watched someone open it up in front of me. He got a gold CD Lamb Kaboom, and he got a Joe Burrow RPA number to like 50.
Oh my!
And I was like, well, I deserve
that.
I deserve that. I deserve this pain right now.
Yeah, because even the wide receivers and the running backs in the gold Kabooms, they do fucking insane.
It was great.
Insane.
The Joe Burrow one did I think it did like 2,000 on auction. I was like, shit.
Shit.
Yeah,
I'll throw a little teaser out there for you guys. Next Wednesday, when Crown comes out, we will be ripping that.
Ooh, a little Bebo.
Not necessarily on Instagram.
Ooh,
we're throwing a little teaser out there for everybody. So stay tuned. We'll probably be dropping the actual sort of information probably this weekend. We'll probably be dropping the information on where we're going to be ripping, how we're going to be ripping it. But stay tuned with that. I know you guys out there, you got fucking ripping basketball. It's like, settle down. All right? It's going to be fun. It's going to be totally different from what you guys think. And it's going to be on a certain platform that I wasn't really too fond with, but now this makes sense.
Let's see what it is.
Yeah.
Tune in soon, ladies.
Tune
in.
All right, I was good. We talked a little baseball, kept it short. Teddy, any thoughts? No, Teddy didn't. He appreciates every single one of you. Teddy's not in the chair today. He's been missing the last couple of weeks, but he should be back next week. I think he'll be back next week.
Yeah, we love me some Teddy.
Yeah, we need these. I'm waiting for them Teddy teasers for football season to come back. We got the football draft coming up, right?
Oh,
is the draft coming up? Is it this weekend?
It's Thursday. First round is.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
It's in
Detroit.
Yeah.
Should we?
I mean, let's we got.
Yeah.
We're at 25.
Yeah. Let's talk about the draft.
Okay, so what? I think there's a couple teams that are going to move around. I think. I think LA might be a mover this one, because I think that I look at that receiver core for the Chargers and I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no way you're moving that. You're moving the ball with that crew. They got to get Neighbors. They got to get Harrison. They got to get somebody. They got to get one of the big three. Neighbors. Who's the kid from Washington?
I'm going to pull up the draft right now.
Rome Odunze or whatever his name is. I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly. I apologize. But they got to get him someone that can get yards.
I was just looking at mock drafts the other day because this might be one of those, in my opinion, it's like the 2020 type style draft.
I think so,
A lot of quarterbacks.
A
lot of wide receivers.
Okay, here's a question. You're a Michigan guy. I've been wanting to ask you this, actually, for a little while. What are your thoughts on people saying that J.J. McCarthy's going top 5?
I don't know, man. That's so hard. He was such a system quarterback, right? It was like, this is what we ask of you.
Right.
I think he can throw the ball. Like I saw that the pro day, the guy fucking threw like a 50-yard, 60-yard bomb.
Every single time I see a mock draft, everyone's talking about his intangibles.
So,
and I'm like,
and like this one right here, this guy, fucking Ryan Wilson from CBS.
Yeah.
He has him at 5th, and he has the Vikings trading up with the Chargers to get J.J. McCarthy at 5.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
I didn't think he would. I thought he would maybe be a second-round quarterback.
I thought he was second round too. Now I'm seeing him. I'm seeing the one I pulled up from PFF. They have the Raiders training up at 9 with the Bears to get him at 9.
I'll just say this: if this mock draft is like, if he's nobody can guess. Nobody's ever guessed the first 5 pick. I don't think anyone's ever had the first 5 picks nailed.
No.
But this guy has quarterback, wide receiver, quarterback. If that Caleb Williams to the Bears, Jaden Daniels, I almost said Jaden Williams. Jaden Daniels to the Commanders, Drake May to the Patriots.
Okay.
Malik Neighbor, is it Neighbors? Neighbors?
He has Neighbors over Harrison?
Yeah, he has Neighbors going 4 to the Cardinals.
First time I've
Then he
seen
has
that.
J.J. McCarthy going to the Vikings as a trade up, and then Harrison to the Giants. Now this is like totally these.
No way.
There's like 10 different guys that do these mock drafts.
There's no way Harrison makes it to the Giants. That would be too far. That would be scripted.
This guy has Williams, Daniels, McCarthy going to the Patriots.
What?
Third. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
He's not going. If May or Daniels is available, they're not taking J.J.
And then this
McCarthy
guy
over.
has Harrison for May 5th to the Vikings in a trade up for the
Watch
trade.
me be a soundbite from the next Tom Brady every single time.
These guys got to know, right? I mean
I don't know, man. I like J.J. McCarthy, but I also think like he's got to go to the right team.
I think May is the best quarterback in the class.
He looks good.
I like Caleb a lot too.
I like Caleb. I like Drake May. I worry though. I don't know why. I get Carson Wentz from Drake May.
Yeah.
Not in the bad way. I know that's some people say bad way.
Pre-injury.
But pre-injury, Carson Wentz was balling.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of see out of Drake May. I think the best player in the draft, I know a lot of people are high on Marvin Harrison Jr. It might be that freaking offensive tackle from Notre Dame. That big old guy.
Joe Alt.
Yeah, Joe Alt. It might be that big old dude from Notre Dame. That guy looks like he's going to sit there. He looks like Joe Thomas. He's going to sit there on your left tackle for the next 10 years.
I really like Jaden Daniels, dude.
Oh,
They put his stats up with Joe Burrow at LSU. It's like fucking identical.
Yeah,
and
except he has
run.
1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah,
on
and
top.
he can run.
He's going to be I hear the Patriots want him real bad. And I don't know if he gets past Washington. Because,
I don't think Washington. How do you pass up? You know what I'm saying?
If they're big on Drake May. If they're big on
Yeah,
Drake May.
that's true.
But that I don't think they are. I don't see how you could be because I'm high on Daniels and I know this is unpopular, but I'm high on Williams too. So I know he was going to the Bears. But like if I'm taking a number 2, I'm probably going Daniels. That guy can ball. He looks a little bit like Lamar Jackson.
Who's coming into the best situation?
That's a great
It's got to be
question.
Caleb Williams, right?
It's got
you
now.
have Keenan.
Yeah.
You
It has
have
to be.
you.
There's a situation
Cole
right
Kmet,
here.
a solid tight end.
There's a
You have
situation,
the running backs.
yeah, where he comes in, they draft Caleb Williams, and then at 9 they take Joe Alt, and then that helps a lot on the left side.
I don't know if he's going to last till 9.
I don't know.
Because a lot of guys need all these teams. Listen, all these top teams they need fucking line work.
Oh,
they,
yeah.
they all suck at.
it would shock me if he makes it past the Falcons.
But yeah,
because Kirk Cousins,
or
is
they
gonna,
fucking do a rip around and trade right down and just
wouldn't
make sure
surprise me
they
either. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me either. I think there's a lot. I had to know from you the J.J. McCarthy situation because I think having him top. There are people saying he could go as high as 2, and I was like, I don't see it.
I think he's got to go to a team that already has a quarterback.
I agree.
And learn for a couple years.
I was gonna say like it's got to be a Jordan Love scenario where he's just sitting for like 2 years. And
Yeah.
he's got to just see someone. He's got to see. I feel like he's gonna be a visual guy where he's got to see someone dominate so he can kind of replicate it because Jordan Love is playing exactly like Aaron Rodgers used to now. So it's one of those situations.
It's scary.
Yeah, it is scary. He's got some. Jordan Love next year is going to be an interesting guy to watch, especially what they do in the draft.
Yeah.
What do you think the biggest what do you think the biggest you should pass on this prospect is for this draft is? Like, who do you not think is going to be good at the NFL level? Because I have one.
Give it to me.
I think Brock Bowers from Georgia is a solid pass. I think some guy did a statistic on tight ends drafted in the
just
first
looking at his
round
name.
since 2000.
Yeah.
They're the best tight ends, generally speaking, have not been drafted in the first round. All the best, there have only been 6,000-yard receivers drafted in the first round ever, and all 6 of them were drafted in 2000 to 2007. And the last one being not Vernon Davis, Greg Olson.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it is like you got your Brandon Pettigrews, you've got your Noah Fonts, you've got your those kind of guys. I think that's just kind of telltale on tight ends in the first round. I think tight ends. I also have always believed this. Tight ends are kind of the position in football where it's like, yes, you could kind of build it. Like there are those guys that look like Brock Bowers where they're like perfectly exactly what you want, but it's always the guys that are like missing a thing. Like they're not a perfect athlete. Like George Kittle. People didn't like his hands coming out of college, or people thought he was a blocking guy only, couldn't run routes. He's doing great.
Gronk had injury problems.
Jason Witten was way too slow.
Yeah.
Antonio Gates couldn't block because he was a college basketball athlete, so he didn't know how to block coming out of high school. Tony Gonzalez was also a basketball guy coming out of college. I think Travis Kelce was not. Nobody thought he was going to be the receiving tight end that he was. People loved his blocking coming out of college. Nobody remembers that. So
you don't want to be remembered for blocking.
You don't want to be remembered for blocking. But I mean, a lot of these tight ends, the great tight ends, usually had something that were like, he's not a first round guy, and then they go on to be great. So, Brock Bowers is my pick for the guy that. I would suggest, it's probably the Dallas Cowboys going to take him, but whatever. They stink.
This guy has the Jets taking him 10.
I think that's a miss.
I worry on the wide receivers because they're a dime a dozen.
They are.
And most of these guys, I don't see it. I don't know. I know Harrison. It's funny you see these and they have a pro comparison. It's like Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
And his pro comparison is Randy Moss.
No way.
That's what their pro comparison is.
Okay, that's a setup for failure right there. That's a setup for failure.
No, I think he's going to do great.
I think he's going to do great, but also like Harrison is running 4.5s, 4.4s, 4.5s. Why are we comparing him to one of the fastest players in NFL history? That's a setup. No, I'd be like, if I heard that to my face and I was Marvin Harrison, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, come on, bro.
What do you think about Bo Nix?
That one is the wild card of the draft. I do not know. And the other one that I was going to mention when we were talking about JJ is why is JJ so high and people just are seeming to miss out on Michael Penix.
Yeah.
I'd take Penix over JJ. I thought Penix is a baller.
I know. What are they?
Penix, this one has Penix at 12 to
this guy doesn't
the
even
Broncos.
This guy doesn't even have Penix in the first round.
That's a little wild. See what I'm saying? Like
this guy doesn't have him. I don't see him.
See, I don't agree with that. I think Penix is definitely a first rounder. I don't agree that he's a top fiver.
Yeah, this guy has him 13 to the Raiders. I see that.
Raiders, yeah.
And then this guy doesn't even have him in the first round. And then this guy, I'm looking. I mean, there could be 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round in this draft. Could be.
I'm going to tell you right now, though. Story of the draft. Where does Cooper DeJean go to? White cornerback. I can't wait.
Yeah.
That dude has the whole world is working against that guy. He's a great athlete, though. He's a great athlete. But everyone, they immediately saw that he's white. There's like, he's a safety.
Yeah.
And Cooper DeJean throughout all of his interviews
That's Harrison
is like,
Smith.
I'm a corner. Yeah.
Harrison Smith 2.0.
But he can. I think this guy can actually play corner. So I'm interested because he'll be the one and only.
I mean, he's a first. They have him as a first rounder, so
he'll be the one only. So
that'd be great.
I'm interested.
I mean, hey, you got Christian McCaffrey in a not so
the best one.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know.
You never know.
It's gonna be a good draft. I'm excited to see how it goes.
Other than that, that's it, guys. We just wanted to fucking shoot the shit, talk about baseball, some basketball, a little bit of football.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate everyone following, listening, downloading, sharing, liking, commenting, doing all the fun shit that you guys can do. That all helps. It all helps.
Everything.
We'll be back next week. Next week will be our Bowman preview. We're going to call it. It's going to be a Bowman preview. We're going to release it accordingly. We're probably going to release it. We might release it a little earlier so you guys can get the whole details. We're trying to get Sleevey in the studio with us so he can kind of have his little takes.
Come on, Sleevey.
He's got about 22 players that are on his radar. So we'll kind of give you a breakdown of the PYTs, who players to chase or teams to chase. And we'll do our Bowman preview next week, which should be fun. We'll break down. Hopefully we'll have a checklist by then, a full checklist. Teddy will be back in studio, and we'll be back at it next week. I appreciate everyone. Keep liking, keep following, keep listening. Download that shit. Even if you don't even listen to the whole thing, just download it to your fucking device. Peace.